It's your boy Josh, aka Josh Boy, aka Dino, and I'm back. Truth Serum. Here I am. Seriously, it's a lot of people that's in situations or involved in relationships or friendships, or I mean, sometimes you can't even really call it whatever you think it is, because it don't be that. Like, we don't know what it really is sometimes. But I said that because a lot of people go through this and they don't realize or recognize, or maybe they don't want to recognize what's really going on. So I'm gonna just say, check their resume, or check the resume. You have some people that are in situations or in relationships or getting involved or dealing with people, and then you have people say things like, that's a personal question, or I don't think that's any of your business, or you ask too many questions, or things like that. Anytime someone is negating or they're evading from answering a question, or just responding to something that's a logical question, because if you're going to be involved with someone, you want to know history. I mean, you want to know their resume. You want to know, like J. Cole say, sometimes they say they slept with about 3 or 4 niggas, but you got to multiply by 3. So I mean, those are things that you want to know. And if they feel that isn't your right, then I guess if you ask a serious question at the beginning, you kind of know where your situation or your relationship is really going. Unless they lie, then you still don't have a clue. But you should, from the beginning, know when something is or where it's going before you actually get too involved. Unless you just have someone who's habitual or pathologically, I mean, they just lie, they delusional. It don't matter what you ask them, they will never give you the correct answer, or the just answer, or the upfront answer. So what I would say is, check the resume. If you have someone who's been involved and they're no longer involved or whatever, and it's been 5 months, 7 months, and they've been involved 2-3 times before you, or within those 7 months, or they are kind of like dating or looking for, be smart. They probably haven't healed from whatever it was, depending on how long they were there, and you're probably just a compensation or a comfort piece so that they don't have to deal with the pain or the hurt, or so they don't have to go through it alone. And that's where a lot of us mess up, because we don't want to be alone, and we kind of rush the fact because we think, oh, it's a connection or whatever. But it really ain't a connection, because it's really just you pushing and wanting something badly because you don't like the feelings that you're getting or what you're going through personally as a person per se. Withdrawal, or all types of different things. So you have to question things, man. Like, it bothers me to know that people will make excuses to not answer questions or to justify something that really isn't justifiable, because if it's wrong or you never answered it directly, and of course if you don't get answers, you don't get clarity, you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to approach the situation, you don't really know how to deal with the person or deal with the things involved in the situation. So if you're dealing with a person and they were just involved, or you were just involved, and it's so easy for you to just be like, yeah, I'm going to, then either it was nothing never really there, or you're just the type of person who, when you meet somebody, you need to say, hey, yeah, well, I don't have a problem with doing this or dealing with them. Like, really take the time out for yourself as a person to sit back and analyze you, as well as analyze situations, and think about things in your life, like where it's going, where the perspective to put it in you. Because if you don't, you'll be all over the place constantly. Seriously, you will literally be all over the place trying to find a spot to get in, or somewhere to be validated, or for someone to give you that acceptance, to be relevant. when you should be relevant within yourself, first of all and foremost. Now, if there's anybody that really is going through that or living like that, like, you gotta step back and you gotta look at the big picture. If it's that easy, or you don't want to go through something, you're probably gonna get yourself or end up hurting someone else because you don't want to, you can't. You're not strong enough willingly, or inner being, your inner man, your inner spirit man or woman is not strong enough to will you through a situation alone. So you have to find somebody else to help will you through it. And really, they don't help will you through it. It's called compensation and comfort. It's just like what you do when you get cheated on or something, and you go out and you have sex with somebody else, or you get out of a bad relationship and you go sleep with somebody else, or it's called compensation or comfort. It's because you don't like the feelings that you're feeling alone, so you go out and try to find some way to mask the feeling, to hide it, to cover it up, when really you do nothing but damage yourself even more, or damage the person who you're dealing with, because they may get feelings or something like that. So what I want y'all to do is check the resume, ask the questions, get the answers. If you don't get the answers, or if you get an answer but you figure the truth out, if they negating it, you can figure out if they negating it. Just keep asking the questions. Anybody that don't want you to ask questions have something to hide. They don't want you to know the truth. If they don't want you to know the truth, then there's something wrong with the person, with the situation, with the relationship, with the whole thing. Like, it's something wrong, because the only way to get answers is to ask questions. And without the questions, you have no answers. And without answers, you don't have truth, or you don't have logic, or you don't have the reality. So people ask more questions before you get involved, before you actually allow someone to come in and take something away from you that you probably can't get back, or will be hard to get back or come by. And don't be afraid to tell the truth in any situation, or I'm sorry, I hate to be making videos looking back, but in any situation or involvement. So what I'm telling you now is check the resume, people. Check the resume. Don't believe everything they tell you without questioning. Check the resume. So until you check the resume, sorry, got a phone call, but until you check the resume, you will always end up in a situation. They got kids, and you get in a relationship, and they say, "Oh, I don't deal with them." Nothing. Kids a year old, couple months old, 2 years old. Like, question the situation, because it wasn't that long ago that there was a situation or another involvement. Like, start doing the math, start doing the research, start making it make sense if you're really interested in the person. And if the person is really interested in you, they should tell you the truth either way. But I've learned that that's the hardest thing in the world for people to do, is just be honest and upfront and be truthful about things, because hurt people. That's what they always say, and that's true. But my grandmother always said, if you want answers, ask questions. So, therefore, I ask questions. I guess that makes me crazy, because I ask questions. Because I won't be a fool. Because I won't let you tell me anything and just say, yep, that's the truth. So, do me a favor and check the resume, people. Like I always say, the truth is in the serum. So bite them with the venom.